Great. I think we're live, right?
We are indeed. Sup, everyone. Welcome to this AMA with Mr. Square of Solido. And first of all, we do want to remind everyone about the importance of the content in this AMA today. Of course, it is not financial advice, and do your own research. Welcome to this very special AMA with Mr. Square of Solido, co-founder at Solido Money. The second sale on the CommonFund platform. We're really excited about what we can expect in the next 2 weeks as Solido prepare for this very big occasion in their roadmap and the second sale on CommonFund. So we're incredibly excited. We have a whole bunch of questions, a whole bunch of stuff to get through. Mr. Square is with us. A reminder for those of you that may be wondering, Mr. Square, of course, is with his PFP, and that's because of numerous reasons. He needs to remain anonymous. We know who he is at Supra. The Supra Foundation knows exactly who he is, but for public reasons, he remains anonymous, and that is fully respected. Of course, this is Web3, and that is understandable. To both of you gentlemen, Josh, thanks for joining us. Mr. Square, thanks for coming on.
GM.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that, of course, if you were in like ETH Denver in the States, less than a year ago and attended in person at MoveCon, then you would know who Mr. Square is, right? But yes, of course, we live in a very dynamical world, and we support creative developers no matter where they're at. And of course, we are internally, because we are a supporter. We have doxed everyone internally. Solido is a project that is part of the Fuse token offering, FTO, meaning they have basically passed the due diligence in order to be part of the program to participate in the Supra ecosystem fund. And remember, anything in the Supra ecosystem fund is a very multi-level decision process, multiple committees, and ultimately anything invested into it is going to be put into this Fuse token vault, this Fuse vaults, right? AK more or less never, ever sold. The only time that those conversions would ever happen is if someone wants to actually, do a like conversion between Supra to the solid token, which is possible, but most of the time probably isn't always a rational behavior. We'll see. Long story short, though, the Fusion Vault concept, of which Solido is one of the first, of course, Super Liquid and Solido, the value there is extended horizontally to every single Super token holder. It's a very interesting model that is only possible on Web3 and only verifiable in Web3. So we are pioneering this, and Solido and Mr. Square have been early pioneers in the Supra ecosystem, adopting AutoFi and automation as well. So I would love to help showcase the product and platform and roadmap. But James, yeah, please guide the conversation from here. I'm here to interrupt occasionally and be like, wait a second, how did you do that? Or what if you did this way? This said, this is one of the most interesting projects that have picked up the Super stack. And it's very exciting to see what this could become in the days and weeks and months and years ahead of us.
Yeah, thanks so much, Josh. And there's already so many questions coming through. Supra Empire, Supra Catalyst, Renew. We're going to get to all of your questions. These are great questions. Mr. Square, be ready. We'll probably get to user questions towards the end. I have a whole bunch of questions as well. And I know that you're going to be taking us through a walkthrough of where Solido is at right now, which we're really excited about. But first, Mr. Square, just a quick recap of who you are, what Solido is for those that may be new to the Supra ecosystem, new to our YouTube channel, new to our X channel. A quick intro to what you guys are building and what can be expected as well.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Joshua. Thanks a lot, James, for again having me here. It's always great to speak with Supra community. We have been building here for like 6-8 months since our app is live, and our team has never seen such a dynamic community, and it's always great to speak with every one of them. And this time again, uh, about me, hey everyone, I am Mr. Squire. I have been in Web3 for almost over a decade now. I I remember that I started in 2014 with when I first built a Bitcoin arbitrage bot uh, back in my college days, and that's how I got into this entire crypto frenzy. So soon after, I built an enterprise blockchain space that worked with some of these Fortune 500 and largest governments in the space. That company got acquired, and since then, I have been I worked with some of these crypto banks, helping them manage DeFi funds, and this is where we realized that we have a long way to go before institutional finance can actually come on chain. And that's how last year I get to know about Supra, heard Joshua and John speaking about the AutoFi, and got really motivated about that. This is really what we need in order to solve this problem of how mainstream finance and the institutional finance needs to be brought upon. And that's when my team started to dedicate towards this building super cool tech uh, in Supra, right? So what Solido is that Solido is many things at once, but right now, what we started with is building the foundational DeFi primitives for Supra's on-chain finance, right? So essentially, the core or the Lego building blocks that have been proven to develop or make on-chain finance thrive, right? So there are three products that we have, and all these three products are nothing imaginary. They are already live on mainnet. These are liquid staking, stablecoin, and yield vaults. All these three applications or all these three primitives, we believe, is creating or providing the Lego building blocks so that anyone, right, can use Supra's finance as well as build on top of it. So this is what we started with, but definitely our vision is much bigger. We ultimately want to become the liquidity brain for Supra's on-chain finance. We are writing our light paper and the white paper, which will actually describe much more. But right now we are the core financial building blocks of Supra, which will be expanded with the help of AutoFi. That's
Right.
what Solido is.
Right. So basically, the thing is, when you say Lego blocks, what you're describing is the same way that I say when use the word primitive, means it's the basic fundamental utility of any financial decentralized system. Okay. So, but you did mention a very triggering word, which is stablecoin. Let's actually dive into that. Like, how does that work in Solido? I mean, given your background in institutional, banking, and kind of bridging the gap between what they need and what we're doing in Web3 these days. Um, and I should mention, by the way, this conversation is like largely unscripted. So we get to be like one-to-one, for the community, for CommonFund, for everyone is the Citadel Vault, right? Once again, the whole point of this conversation is that, and the whole point of the Citadel Vault and the CommonFund program is that you get to have priority access to the best projects on Supra. Now, we did the CommonFund sale for Super Liquid, and that went great. We were actually only going for, let's just call it around 100 million super tokens. Close to 200 million super tokens were closed into that. Now, 40% of the liquid token for alignment for the Fusion Vault model, right? The FTO Fusion token offering is put there. And at the same time, I just want to use this opportunity to let everyone know that most kind of ecosystem funds don't operate in this layer of, or this manner of transparency, meaning we have dedicated these resources, including into Solido, into this Fusion Vault, which benefits all holders. Now, that said, though, let's jump into the protocol, the ideas, the creative ideas that are introducing true DeFi primitives. I think a great place to start, Mr. Square, is how possibly can we do a stablecoin? You know what I mean? Like, how does
For
it
sure.
work on Solido? Yeah, how do we build trust here and confidence here?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's great because really when Solido started first, we started with the stablecoin only project. I mean, of course, over the time, our ambitions grew and we came into building the liquidity staking and the vaults because we saw the opportunity that was fused in. But ultimately, what we see is that everything that we have built on top is actually coming up together with the stablecoin model itself. So how I will put this stablecoin is that really this stablecoin we have designed is to create I would say a credit native DeFi economy, right? So what I mean by here is crypto is all about getting assets and collateral into the ecosystem. I mean, of course, it started with Bitcoin, right? So now today we have high market cap tokens like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, right? Then we have an influx of real world assets that is happening today. We have yield bearing assets that are coming up. Now, all of these assets which are entering into these space, if we want to maximize the capital efficiency out of it, then we need to allow people to borrow against them. Now, and this is how our journey actually started. Borrowing stable coins are very unpredicted. It is highly volatile with the market. We have graphs we have created from Aave where we have seen that the USDT borrowing rate goes or fluctuates from 5% to way beyond 100% borrow APR during the highly volatile time. And this is where we saw that there is an opportunity, right? Because we cannot stay kind of because the way of likes of how Aave works is that there is a counterparty, and that counterparty is actually providing USDT or USDC so that someone can actually borrow them. So when the borrow demands come very high, in those cases, you don't have enough USDT or USDC in the liquidity pool to actually cater to the demand that's coming in. So that's where we built this Solido Cash. So Solido Cash is a stablecoin protocol, right? It kinds of leverages AutoFi directly under its roots for whether it's auto risk management, whether it's for the liquidation management or any of those. What people can do, or what this protocol does, is that you deposit a collateral, a vetted collateral, right, which we know that which has real value, such as, let's say, right now there is Supra. Once I assets are going to come in, then there is going to be IBTC, IETH, and all of these vetted collaterals. And you mint stable coins in an over collateralized format. So currently, like for example, you can deposit $100 worth of BTC or Bitcoin, and you can mint $50 or $60 worth of stablecoin. So we know that we always, so this is what provide the stablecoin, the stability, because we know that at all time, the stablecoin is backed by a surplus amount of collateral. Now, this is where it becomes interesting because it's a protocol level mechanics that we have built. We are not dependent upon any counterparty to actually get the stablecoin entered into the ecosystem. The protocol can mint stablecoin on demand. So tomorrow, if there is $10 million of collateral comes into the ecosystem and ask for $5 million of cash to be borrowed, we can honor that. We can also honor that if it happens at a scale of, say, $10 billion or $100 billion, because the cash can be minted on demand. So this is where we see that by building Solido Cash, we have created really a credit native DeFi economy. It's
Okay.
credit plus a stable coin mix in once.
Yeah, before we go into all the other features here that can be enabled and benefits that can be enabled, let's just kind of zone in and focus on the core concept. It's actually over collateralized lending. So you put up, $100,000 worth of super token, for example, and you can mint what, $50,000 worth of stablecoin against that. And there is this liquidation mechanism, etc. Now, this is a very common design. It's a good design. It is still putting capital to work in ways that you can't necessarily do this in Web 2. It's a good start. The thing is, I'm sorry. I'm not saying I'm sorry because I didn't prep you for this question. I'm just throwing a curveball. But how do we? I'm just really curious, like founder to founder, like 5 years from now, how do we get to, instead of like super over collateralized lending, what do you imagine? And I really should have like given you this prep question in advance, but frankly, we're in the crucible together.
No, no
And
worries.
basic,
I think
basically, the question I want to know is like, what are the types of ideas, maybe in the context of Audify, in like 3 to 5 years from now, where right now DeFi is very basic, super over collateralization for lending. Great, still better than nothing, it's way better than nothing. But imagine like, isn't the mecca, the holy grail, where we could get to a stage where you can actually do under collateralized lending? What would that possibly look at? Like from your point of view, with your institutional background, what are the types of things that would be required to even consider that type of thing? Is it on-chain history, reputation? I'm just really curious to hear your point of view, Mr. Square.
no, for sure. I think definitely under collateralized lending is the holy grail, right? We are seeing that a number of projects lately in 2025, I have personally seen a lot of influx in projects that are actually coming in the under collateralized lending. But definitely, as you said, that the over collateralized lending has its own benefits too. And this is actually coming in from the institutional background itself, I found. So let me, kind of provide a simple use case scenario which will actually clarify that why these over collateralized stablecoins like cash can be very beautifully presented. Let's imagine, right, that there is an institution that is coming in right now. There is a tokenization of everything that's supposed to happen. It's tokenization of capital market, it's tokenization of lands, right, and all of these assets. You want to, and that's how we built cash stablecoin as well. So the cash stablecoin, right, like someone can program that you have built, you kind of deposit, let's say, some RWA into the vault, right? This RWA is deployed to earn yield at the XYZ places, while at the same time this RWA can actually interact with the cash protocol, because again the cash protocol has been built in a fully composable manner. Someone can automatically build a strategy using the AutoFi, and that's where the AutoFi signs that you can automatically actually leverage it up to loop, to create something like a looping strategy, right? So you can deposit whatever asset it is. It's an yield bearing asset like ST Supra, for example. You can deposit ST Supra into the vault, and then you can mint the cash stable coin, right?
Right.
So
So, sorry, just to make sure that, sometimes when we have these presentations, we kind of enter it assuming that everyone has seen the other presentations. But actually, we should talk as if someone is tuning in for the first time. So, Cash is this token that is over collateralized with an asset like Supra. Maybe put $100 in, and you can mint $30 worth of cash, which has a strong guarantee that it's stable. Okay, or that's the idea. Remember, uh, these are early ideas, and these are the intention. And of course, everyone should do their own research. And it's not necessarily financial advice, but you can understand the dynamics. They're very clear. They're on-chain logic. You can read the code. Okay, so for example, like that was an example. Now, this is still very interesting because you can now take a token in which you may have a long-term thesis on and say, hey, by the way, also, I do want to do some short-term, when I say short-term, I'm saying in the order of like months, transactions and or leverage that. And it turns out that humans, we do enjoy and appreciate stability, which is this idea of stablecoins. So cash itself is a version of an overall collateralized stablecoin, right? Which can eventually be further used into other processes, aka DeFi looping. Okay, that's the idea. Now, that's the beauty and risk of Web3, is that you can rehypothecate. Now, Web2 traditional finance does this, right? Without transparency. They're doing this without transparency. Now, these principles should work in Web3 even better with transparency. And yeah, I just want to mention that just just where if you happen to have an answer of like how we could do under collateralized stablecoin issuance, do let me know. It's a very tricky problem. I don't pretend I have the answer myself, but I just wanted to open up the discussion and let you all know, our community know, that I do consider Solido and Mr. Square and team as pioneers in space, you know. And I would always challenge them, of course, to be like, okay, does that make sense? Does that breaking any of the laws of financial physics? Now, the nice thing is in Web3, everything is transparent and coded, and you can view the logic, right? And to me personally, I do view kind of, you know, Mr. Square, you entered the conversation talking about Lego blocks. I do view Solido as a pioneer in primitives in the Supra ecosystem. And when you say the word ST Supra, just we really have to speak to the beginner audience. I mean, liquid staked Supra, meaning, can you explain ST Supra, stake Supra to the kind of general audience? That'd be really good for our audience to understand.
For sure, for sure. We really think that's one of the killer app that we have built, and just in a very short span of time, I think just in a week of going live, we have seen a good traction, humongous traction around it. So ST Supra is very much same like WST ETH, for those who are familiar with the project like Lido. Lido is one of the largest DeFi protocol, the de facto largest protocol by the TVL in terms of on top of Ethereum. So what ST Supra allows you to do is you stake your Supra very much similar to how you would stake uh, using your star key wallet. You can select a number of validator along which you can stake your assets. What ST Supra does, or what Solido Flow, the name of the protocol, what Solido Flow allows you to do is that you can deposit the assets into the protocol. The protocol does the same thing. It selects a network of validators. We actually, and since we does that again through AutoFi, so we regularly keep a track on really how much APY each of these validators are resulting and giving. So the real-time calculations are happening, ensuring that those validators who are performing poorly are kind of removed from the system, so that the users are earning maximum rewards from the staking. But that's not it. When you stake with the Solido Flow, you also receive this ST Supra as a receipt token. Now, ST Supra token automatically grows by roughly 8% APR value. So today you stake your Supra and get, I'm sure, this will be much more simpler once we get to the demo part of it. But, kind of this is how it will. You will stake your Supra, receive ST Supra, your ST Supra will keep growing in the value. And then you can use your ST Supra in a number of any number of DeFi protocols, right? Like for example, our users, I see that many of our users are already in the chat, so I'm sure they will be able to relate to it. For example, if around a couple weeks ago, if you had Supra token, you and you had two choices. One is that you can use your Supra token to stake in the Starkey wallet and earn these 8% staking APY, right? That's option number one that they can check. Or they can use their Supra to deposit in Solido Cash and mint stablecoin. So the user will have to choose one of these two routes. Now, with
And I just want to say this is the status today, and we're very grateful for these primitives and builders. I want to say Business Square, as we all know, this is our status today, and it'll get way more competitive today. But the reason why I think it's very prudent for you guys and appreciate you guys for launching, and also maybe this may or may not be a great opportunity for Solido, excuse me, for Citadel folks in CommonFund. Remember, I just want to bring it back there, and I can't wait to go into the product demo. I just want to tie it back to our community, folks that have put their tokens into the Citadel vault months ago, like 3 months ago. Our promise to them is they will get the best deals in CommonFund, aka, of course, you have to do KYC and AML, etc., right? We did super liquid 25%, and today we're talking about folks that are in that very limited program will continue to get another discount into Solido. I think in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, by the way, on the order of 25% discount as well. So I just want to kind of set the stage at that two things. Yes, um, if you kind of look at it in the early stages of Supra's growth, there's not that many things you can do, and perhaps one of the most rational considerations would be to mint cash by parking your Super token into this protocol. Imagine basically, just to be straightforward, the best analogy is Lido ETH. Like, you guys all know about liquid staking ETH, right? It's a very similar program, and Solido is one of the earliest pioneers here. Um, I think it's great that they recognize this opportunity. I think, in my humble opinion, over time they may become a key component in this kind of financial infrastructure and primitive of Supra ecosystem. And I do want to say that the APR is very clear. It's coming from block rewards. So staking to a variety of vetted node operators that Solido team has vetted. Just like Lido, it's very similar to the Lido principles, right? Um, there are block rewards. And then also you can rehypothecate. The word is rehypothecation. Reposition that value into other tokenized models, right? That's the beauty of Web3. This is why Super spends so much time on like unified liquidity, not a centralized system, but rather a unified modular system with shared liquidity. That is like our backbone, and the thing is, I guess what I want to say is like as we move into the product demo, I want to know that Solido, and coming from me, to my best knowledge, Solido has the lead here in implementing these primitives and principles on Supra. And I've had a chance to meet the team. Our team has been discussing with them for many, many months. And while Mr. Square may be, you know, pseudo anonymous to many of you folks tuning in here today, we have met them and we backed them. And the backing that Super Ecosystem Fund, the foundation that decides to invest in them, those token that value will go into the Fusion vaults. In some regards, basically, in a nutshell, more or less not ever sold, and also benefits every single token holder in Supra proportionally as they engage in the projects and solutions that the Solido team and protocols they build. You know, So yeah, with that said, I think we should jump into product. Are you guys able to do this right now?
For sure, for sure. I think this will simplify a lot on how we want to explain this.
Okay, let's do it.
L- Is the screen visible?
It is
Yes.
indeed, sir. Looking good.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, very simply, how we have been putting it right now, that's what our website explains it as well. If you are a Supra holder, you can use your Supra token to stake, borrow, and earn, right? So, how you do that? Essentially, our protocol, uh, it's of course, kind of it inherits or built on the entire leverages the entire AutoFi infrastructure. There is three core component that we will go through very quickly. The first is Solido Flow, akin to the Lido project that we're just talking about. This is the liquid staking protocol. This gives you roughly the same APY that you get if you directly stake with one of these validators. Then second, we have the cash protocol, which is an interest-free stablecoin borrowing method. You deposit collateral, and then you borrow cash. And then there is third is the Grow protocol, where we are building this right now. There is one vault, but the aim is that there will be multiple vaults tomorrow. For cash stablecoin, for Supra, for once the BTC ETH and the other large caps are there, you will be able to earn yield through all of them. So this is what very simply, a one-stop platform we provide where you can stake, borrow, and earn through the protocol. Uh, this is what our application looks like. Right now, pre-TGE, we are providing Solido points. So if you are using, or many of, I think we have 1,000+ users easily who are using one or the other component of Solido. And we are right now incentivizing them with the Solido points. At some moments, like the cash register program, we have also run campaign where these early users were also awarded Supra tokens. Uh,
So, Mr. Square, I do want to mention that what I admire about your design is a excuse me, Solido points program is it's based off of actual contribution to like the protocol, like participating in and providing value. So I think you guys have a good program here. More or less, they may not be able to disclose exactly when their snapshot's going to be, but from my understanding, their snapshot program as they're designed to really reward folks that are believers in the protocol and actual users. Um, I think it's important for, and I'm speaking to all future dApps that launch with us in this program that go through the Project Blast Off, then Super dApp competition, Project Blast Off, and then ultimately CommonFund. We do expect them, and we do check to see that they are. Um, Very thoughtful in their system. And one of the key points of recommendation we give is that, in our own analysis, it's really, really much better to have a point system that benefits those that provide actual value. That value can be on-chain trading volume. It could be, user feedback, right? It could be co-marketing. Value is beyond just like only the money you bring to the system, but let's be honest, a lot of it is like useful to distribute the value to folks that have the wherewithal to participate in the protocol in the first place, aka have some discretionary capital. Okay, like that's the truth. Number two, though, is that we don't want to discount the educators, the KOLs, the marketers that are driving folks towards these opportunities, which, of course, everything's on chain. You have to understand what's going on. It's really important that everyone understands the fundamental principles behind these DeFi primitives, decentralized finance primitives. We cannot ever violate the physics of blockchain nodal consensus, meaning the physics of how nodes communicate in blockchain networks. Moreover, we cannot violate principles of decentralized finance, right? And we've already gone through that as an industry through like Celsius and FTX and others. The last era, these days it's all on chain. Let's just do this the right way this time, you know? And at the same time, there are potentially incredible opportunities. And actually, this is not something that I've shared with you, Mr. Square, today. But our team rather today talked about this is we do want to emphasize, and you probably have this already, but some sort of like very thoughtful referral system that is performance based. So this is going to be something that we share to everyone and also implement ourselves. That every DApp on Supra really should have a beautiful, thoughtful, performance-based referral system. You know, I do want to say though that yeah, like first of all, even me myself, I'm very appreciative of the thoughtfulness that you brought to this product. In some sense, I have gotten feedback that it feels a little bit industrial. And my feedback to folks that say it's a little bit industrial is because it's a primitive, fundamental building block of decentralized finance. And of course, I do believe that this will become um, refined over time. Nonetheless, I think, yeah, please continue. I do want our audience to understand that I personally do believe that this is quite interesting, and I've been coached to not talk about, um, I can't talk about price, I can't talk about X, Y, and Z, but I can talk about my opinion. And my opinion, and I have to preface it with a disclaimer and non-financial advice and, do your own research, right? But me personally, I have done my research, and I think that this is a interesting protocol. Um, and I would say that we're very excited. I spoke to the CommonFund team the other day. They're very excited to host Solido as a second CommonFund project. And remember, the folks that have participated in the Citadel Vault, you'll get like 25% discount, aka the best deals possible in this program as well. And you know, this program, the Citadel Vault, will open up again. I believe the team's talking about opening it up again a week before the Solido actual sale, right? And I would like to invite folks to seriously consider like making your own decision, your own mind based off of first principles. Okay. So, does Supra have a shot? Is Supra going to have a shot just by being fast? That's not enough. We're all fast. And Supra is like going to be one of the fastest, like physically possible. Like we have our papers, we have a research, we have Ethereum Foundation, Solana Foundation, academia behind the scenes talking to us like, wow, that's such a good idea. This is in reference to hydrangea or another consensus algorithm. And imagine putting hydrangea into a microchain, right? Like I can imagine Solido becoming more than just a protocol. It can become a container. It can be an ecosystem. It can be a container on the layer one and a microchain. So I do want to just share that the vision is bigger than just one thing. That's why I like personally to focus on primitives. I like projects that focus on primitives. I'm just talking about from my point of view personally, because primitives are foundational, means that they can do many other things. They have optionality to go this way or that way later. And of course, Supra itself as an infrastructure is like incredible primitive layer one vertically integrated infrastructure. And I think we all agree it's obviously a beautiful vision. Now, where we're at today is execute. Let's make sure we bring products to market. We already know scientifically the algorithm will perform. Great. Now let's bring builders and inspire builders. Actually, we should take this opportunity, Mr. Square. Sorry to take up so much of your spotlight, but I do want you to use this opportunity. I'm just going through my notes here. Can you talk to us in our community as to why? Like why even build on Super in the first place? We're the underdog. We've been the underdog. We will be the underdog. Nonetheless, we have a lot of bite for our bark. so to speak. But I'm just curious, like, why did you even consider us?
So I think, kind of when we started with building Solido, the entire idea was that if it has to be based on, then it has to be based on a Supra. Like, for example, building on DeFi for many, many years, I think at least over the past 5, 6 years, since 2019, me and my team have been experimenting with various projects on DeFi. Uh, and honestly, we have worked with almost all the OG projects, right? And building these DeFi projects, we have known that uh, especially this is true in terms of DeFi applications, because the security matters a lot for us, because it is not just about, let's say, I mean, I'm not saying that getting your address leaked out is not bad. For
Security
sure.
is the number one thing, no matter what.
Right.
Like,
So, I mean, of course,
that's
even if you are building a social media app and you are exposing up the your address or your driving license, it's bad, no doubt about it. But people actually let it slide, right? That all right. Yeah, and this has happened on many occasions that someone's driving license gets, leaked out, and people would stay, at least on the short term, they will stay fine. But you steal their money, they are gonna
yeah. So
come at
the thing
you
is,
immediately,
it's,
right?
it's very, very bad. So the thing is, the answer to this, by the way, it comes down to the baseline of blockchain technology, which is encryption, decryption, private key management, KPI, key, public key, or PKI, excuse me, public key infrastructure,
Yep.
right? So the thing is, where we all know, like, the traditional world tries to like push this back a little bit because they're like, damn, we have to re-architect everything. But it's actually really simple re-architecture. It's that you store only ciphertext. You
Yep.
encrypt everything, and if you want to access it, you use your private key. It's very simple. So if you hack me, it doesn't matter. You can't read that shit. No one can read that shit without the private key, right? It's like I've talked to many banks, big ones. You all know those names, people that work there, and they all agree. Like, damn, that's obviously correct, but we have to like restructure so many things internally to do that. So my conversation with them was just like, yeah, let's just build a prototype, let's build a pilot. Make it simple. And the thing is a public key infrastructure, access control rules based off of, cryptography. Okay, so anyways, long story short, the DMV is like, yeah, that can be streamlined too with KYC and ZKPs and encryption decryption protocols. But I think we are diverging too much. Let's come back to
Yeah. Let me,
yeah,
let me finish up. Yeah, sorry.
please, yeah.
So actually what I was saying is that, for a DeFi project specifically, our security becomes very important. And the security of a DeFi app is actually the best security we have, is the worst security of a particular component that we are using. And the DeFi actually use many components, right? So we run on a virtual machine. We use, like, let's say for our stablecoin, we have to do the pricing, for which we need oracles. For liquidations and for redemptions and for many things, we need automation. Then, kind of, so there is plenty of things that are going on behind the scenes. And if one particular object breaks, that's actually caused the fatal to a financial project like ours. And
That's
this
right.
is where we saw that, which was the first thing, that the biggest strength of being on Supra is that everything is vertically integrated. So let's say if we were on Ethereum or Solana, we would need separate networks for oracles, cross-chain bridging, automations, and so. And then what we would have done, because honestly, that's what we have been doing for past 5 years, is that we have been stitching them together in a clunky way that literally create loopholes. Now, on Supra, all of that works natively with its integrated stack. So we really love MoveVM for the same reason, because the MoveVM provides this high security. The Oracle provides reliable price feed, and a big fan of the native automation that is built on the base layer. So kind of this provides all of us to piece together these different primitives so that we don't have to add these extra complexity, which leads to reduced security, and not to mention also kills the user experience, because you would need multiple level of clickings to happen, kind of off-chain clunky ways to do that. And this is really where we saw that because although we are still building, we are still in the very early phases of development on Supra, so people are not yet able to realize that what we are building. But what we have been building is really been focused towards institutions. We really feel that the Supra is the blockchain that can be used if Wall Street wants to come on it. If Wall Street, once they are gonna come on chain, they would want the things to behave or operate the way they have been seeing, and it can only be built on Supra. It's so essentially, I will say that it's not just speed or security alone that's kind of drawn us to Supra, but kind of this this unique model of its own of the vertically integrated. This is something we cannot get anywhere else. So that's literally the reason that we see that what we want to build in the 5-year vision for for Solido can actually come only alive on Supra.
Yeah, I think you actually touched upon the core principles of what we're doing this, the reason why we're doing this. So just to summarize it, the status quo is a layer one, maybe a legacy layer one, a faster layer one, but then also they have to communicate with an external system, a set of nodes called an oracle, maybe Chainlink. Maybe it's Ethereum, maybe it's Solido, maybe it's Chainlink. That's right. This is better than nothing. Like the world with Chainlink is without Chainlink is far worse than a Web3 with Chainlink. Definitely great. Goods very, very, very enhanced in both Ethereum and Solana as a result. And then you also have other chains, Tron, BNB, Sui, Aptos, others, Ton, etc. Many, many others. Layer twos, the blossoming of layer twos. How do you coordinate value? There's broken composabilities, broken liquidity across each of the systems. And now, your application on some layer one is communicating to one oracle for certain information. This is a different network than your layer one. And then also to a different network for cross-chain communication confirmation. That's not even part of your layer one security. And then to another system that is for automation, on-chain randomness, external commands, whatever it might be. Disparate systems. Your beautiful application that was designed perfectly and that works perfectly, audited, is going to work deterministically, is reliant upon the weakest component that you integrated. That's not even part of the layer one you deployed upon, right? That's our whole thesis. Like, that's the problem with the modular approach. Okay. Now the pendulum has swung back and we got beaten up a lot along the way, that how could you say that how could you be a system that is vertically integrated and do better than a modular approach? And we say the following. Supra is vertically integrated infrastructure, shared security. With shared security, we have a lot of advantages, including while we are kind of a hyper monolithic system, we have multiple components. Each of these components are different protocols. We shuffle the nodes accordingly into these systems. And those protocols themselves, however, can be updated, right? So if like the Oracle protocol or the on-chain randomness or cross-chain communication protocol, we find something that's better. And remember, we don't just say, this is it. This is one thing we discovered in 2023. That's the end. No, no, no. We reinvent ourselves. We can update that component. We don't have to upgrade everything else. We can update our consensus protocol without completely drastically changing everything else in infra. So back to your original value proposition as to why Supra is because this vision and this technology ultimately is shared security, it's cheaper, and it's faster. So more secure, cheaper, and faster. And more or less, we think that if that thesis plays out fully, this is the only thing that matters. Everyone's going to only care about maximum security as fast as possible, as cheap as possible. I know that those three principles are foundational for the next 10,000 years, not even 300 years, you know? Yeah, so humans are going to care about that kind of stuff forever. Yeah, but so yeah, I mean, I love it. I guess we're kind of running out of time here. I don't know, James or Mr. Square, if you want to do more product demos. I would say the following is that once again, there's a couple things on my list here I have to discuss. One is Citadel vaults are going to open up again soon. I think next week, for like 3 to 5 days. The details of the token economics of the Solido launch will be available in the next, I think, at least 3 to 5 days before the actual launch. So everyone can observe that. Mr. Square and their team can create products, video demos. They have a lot of product suites, and I would love for you guys, and I haven't had a chance to look at all the future work you're going to do. I would love for you guys to say, this is where we're at. This is the traction we have. This is where we're moving towards, and this is what we'd love to do in the next period, right? Remember, CommonFund is kind of at this stage privileged for the Citadel folks. There's, I believe, on the order of like another $1.5 million worth of Supra token in Citadel Vault available for discount programs in CommonFund. Okay, Solido's next. There's going to be one or two others, weeks or months later. My point, though, is that we're going to open up the Citadel Vault one more time for new folks. The exact terms and conditions are going to be discussed, and we'll figure it out, but that'll be sometime next week. You'll be able to review the Solido CommonFund page and their offering, their videos, their product demos, beyond. Remember, the kind of cornerstone of the decentralized common fund model is that ICO, initial coin offering 2.0, where folks there's milestone-based funding. So back in the day, like EOS raised whatever, $1 billion, they had no accountability, right? And I don't know if I know that Mr. Square, you were actually in blockchain before me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was not a bad time for builders, though. I can say that.
Yeah, it was wild. It was very
But
wild,
nonetheless,
but
it was wild. It was wild, and definitely this approach of ICO 2.0 is really puts us in the limelight to deliver, and this is how it should have been. So just the
it's right.
maturity of ICOs, I will say.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess the last questions are, when is the next Citadel Vault opening? I guess that's probably next week. I don't know, James or Mrs. Square, you guys want to take a couple more questions? There will be more communication between the CommonFund team, Solido team. I'm here today just to say my point of view. Like, the truth of the matter is, and I think all of you can vouch, this is a little bit off the cuff. It's not like, hey, Mr. Square, these are the exact questions I'm going to ask you. It's more like, I'm just going to ask you what I need to ask you, for our community, right? And I hope that I've done a good job, as being kind of shepherding opportunities towards the folks in Citadel, and of course the Supra community. But just to summarize this again, Citadel folks, these are folks that put their token into Supra vaults that could not lock or move their tokens for like 3 or 4 months ago. Our promise was you would gain access to the best deals that have been vetted, not just by me, but Supra Labs, Entropy Foundation, others, right? And Solido is the number 2 to launch on this platform. Yeah, I just want to say that. Thank you, everyone. I don't know. I'm going to say James and Mr. Square, you guys have the last word.
Yeah, thanks so much, Josh. And Mr. Square, if you don't mind, I've got a whole bunch of questions coming through from a whole bunch of users that are looking to be part of your sale, which happens in 2 weeks' time. Current date is set for 15 September, which is just under 2 weeks. So it's not a lot of time, but it does give a little bit more time for people to prepare how they're going to participate. Of course, the Citadel vaults open up next week. We will announce that on our various communication channels through the SUP, through X, through our email newsletters as well. But Mr. Square, if you don't mind, I'm going to throw a couple of questions your way from a number of users that have been watching today. So first one is, are you able to share? This one's from McKinney. McKinney shared this about half an hour into the AMA today. And his question was, when will the Solido points snapshot be taken? So obviously at the moment, you guys are operating your incentive program with Solido points as people participate in the Solido app. And McKinney wants to know, when will the Solido points snapshot be taken? Are you able to provide that? Do you have a date? And are you planning for when that snapshot happens?
We don't have a date yet, but for sure it is currently live. The snapshot hasn't been taken. I would say that probably the way the timelines are stacked up, this is everyone's last chance to stack up as much Solido points they can. But yeah, ideally it should stay up almost until the TGE. And as soon as we have taken the snapshot, we will definitely announce it on our Discord. So just stay tuned on our Discord and you will know once the snapshot has been taken.
Yeah, and if you aren't part of Solido's Discord, it's real simple. Just head on over to their X, where you'll find their website. On their website, you can get across to their app. You can get across their Discord. Solido Money is where they are on X. Solido Money, they're always communicating and giving you the latest updates. Real quick, Martin Dude, Heim, hello to you, Heim, sir, my Dutch friend, who is always on the SUP. He just wanted to find out about if the vaults will be involved with Solido in the same way as Liquid. Yes, very similar. There is going to be a 25% discount for Citadel stakers. So when Solido determine the price, and we're not announcing that today on this show, but it will be announced very shortly when the CommonFund page goes live, which will be a few days before the actual sale, so that you can run through all the details. It's very much like a white paper. There's a whole bunch of details about Solido with tokenomics, with roadmap, with everything that they're rolling out over the next couple of months. But that CommonFund page is going to be open a few days before the sale goes live. And the Citadel vaults are going to offer you a 25% discount on the determined price. So when Solido set their price for the solid token, you'll be able to get a 25% discount if you are staking in the Citadel vaults, which reopen next week. Josh, I see you've jumped on. Do you want to add something to that point?
No, just basically, I just want to emphasize that while I cannot overpromise, we do think that Citadel folks, you're going to be remembered in the Supra blockchain forever. You know, so what's cool about blockchain is that it's transparent forever. So you folks, some of you probably can become kind of legendary, but of course, take it easy, be responsible, all that stuff. But some of you folks have, first of all, like Super has a track record of our backers. You're all like 3,500 range are etched into our Genesis block. We're one of the most decentralized launches. I think it's us and Cardano that actually have the most decentralized participants in terms of token holders. Of course, for us, we're a little bit more liberal in terms of who can sell at what time. The good news, I think, is like we're approximately 2/3 of folks that have participated in backing Supra, they're vested, meaning they could have sold and they have been selling. But the good news is like you want to get that over with. Other chains may have like 3 or 4 years of that. I'm not entirely sure on the specific numbers for us. I do think that getting this over within a large percentage, perhaps up to 2/3, within the first year of launch has been a very challenging, difficult experience, but also ultimately super healthy. This is my perspective. And I just want to say that all those folks that are backed us before TG, they are etched in our blockchain. Thank you so much. And also anyone that's in Citadel and participates in Super Liquid or Solido, you will be remembered literally forever. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting for those that have been part of it. To someone who asked, what is the Citadel? Someone actually put that on YouTube. Ein Kompot. If you're new to Supra, the Citadel is a vault which has been set up by Supra for those who are holding Supra to stake. So you can actually generate a significant APR on your Supra tokens that you hold, and on top of that, get discounts to the numerous projects that are going to be deploying their dApps on the Supra L1. And the second is Mr. Square's Solido, which goes live on the 15th of September. Next question, Mr. Square. Web3 Free Crypto wants to know, what is the minimum amount that you can on Solido?
So if you want to just stake Supra to receive ST Supra, I think you can do it for as low as 10 Supra. So there is really no minimum, I would say, for staking Supra in that sense. However, if you want to use Solido Cash, where you want to borrow cash, then you will need to deposit roughly around, I would say 15,000 Supra at least, so that you can safely mint 20 cash, which is the minimum amount. I'm sorry, I don't want to bother anyone, but I'm just for the brevity, I'm just keeping all these answers very short because I know there is a lot of questions here. So don't mind.
No, that's fair. We appreciate that. And we did schedule you and Josh for an hour, so we want to make sure we honor that. So I'll literally run through probably one or two more questions. There was one which Aqib Khan wanted to know. Aqib wanted to ask you, Mr. Square, when will Trove Mania rewards be distributed?
So this will be done around with the TGE itself. So we will announce more details around all the Solido points and the details of all the campaigns that we have been running and how those points will be converted into the tokens. So just stay tuned. Our token economics will be live soon, and these will answer all these questions.
Yeah, I would say about that. So just briefly, my understanding, and James, correct me if I'm wrong, that the details of the campaign, the CommonFund team will be more available at least 5 days before the actual campaign, so you can watch videos, read the details of the token economics, etc. So a lot of these questions that you may have are probably going to be answered on that, which, what is it, in a week from now should be available, approximately a week from now should be online. So I think any questions around that can be saved for when that goes live. And I don't know, I mean, maybe James, you and Mr. Square should do another sup before their TG, so consider it, let me know.
It's actually not a bad idea. So Mr. Square, if you have time, because I'm sure, and that's my question to you is, I wanted to ask, how are you feeling right now ahead of your token sale? I mean, obviously it's token sale. After token sale comes TGE, token generation event, Genesis block, really exciting times, but it must be extremely busy. How do you feel right now as a founder? Are you stressed? Are you excited? Is it a combination of both?
Definitely, it's a combination of both. But yeah, I won't say stressed. It looks like a good time. We are seeing a lot of rain though in Singapore, so that's a pain. That's a big pain, honestly. And the main thing about me, how I'm feeling, I got a little wet on the weekend. And my voice is not doing very well, so I'm a bit sad over there. But no, other than that, I think I'm very much excited. This is coming up together. It's been like 6 months almost since we launched Solido Cash. So we have seen that the community has been building very well. We know that in our community there is a lot of trader, a lot of guys who really understand DeFi very well. So we really feel that once we have launched our token, uh, these guys are gonna be incentivized very well, and the best part about this good community is that once there is incentives mechanism that really kicks in the picture, from there you start growing outward in a much rapid manner. So we really feel that once our token is out there, our expansion will be at a much faster speed. So very much excited, a little bit
Yeah,
stressed, but mostly excited. Yeah.
that's great. That's great. I would say, just so you know, like post token launch, it gets worse. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's good for everyone to know that.
it's
Yeah, it's
I
really
and I
hard before, by the way. It's really hard before, but it gets more challenging in different ways. But the thing is, back to kind of what you're saying though, I would just say like for the audience, they should really understand first principles. That's the thing. Like you really should just understand the good ideas that power the protocol and how the protocol will function. It's, in my personal view, virtually guaranteed, in my personal opinion, etc., from what I've analyzed, the protocol will exactly execute exactly as it should. Okay. But you have to understand how that works. And the Solido team, please continue to create more education, understand them, understand like these concepts and why, how it behaves and such. So everyone knows, very informed what they're doing. And that's better for longevity for everyone, right? It's a great service. The system and product that you bring to market, in my opinion, it's not good or bad. It's neutral. It's a fundamental product, first principles, physics-based type of financial uh, service that is executed in a decentralized environment. That is should ought to exist. This is my point of view in every single ecosystem. Now, Supra happens to have, as you mentioned, the vertically integrated stack that can ensure things that are functioning correctly, right? And with automation, with single block that can execute sub-second basis with access to Oracle data with automation, we can have what we call zero block delay execution. It's basically unstoppable compute, transparent, fair, unstoppable compute. This is this is a service that Supra as an infrastructure um, we aim to provide, and also this is one of the reasons why you decide to deploy Supra, despite the fact that you got into Web3 before me, like 1.5 years before me, right? So you in many regards, I actually learned from you a lot. So yeah, I just want to say that I think we should wrap this up here. Thank you, James, and thank you, Mr. Square. I guess in summary, just I have a list here I should go through. One is Citadel folks. You guys will continue to have preferential access to discounted programs that are launched and vetted through CommonFund. Supra Ecosystem Fund that are investing, through it's a multi-committee kind of community committee based, like what do you call it? And eventually, I hope eventually we want to get to purely decentralized governance based decision making here. But for the first couple of years, I think it has to be kind of foundation and committee based process where anything that Super Ecosystem Fund is investing into or contributing into Solido. Remember, we have the Fuse token vault with the FTO Fuse token offering, where 40% of super liquid tokens are going. And whatever the super ecosystem is investing into, the fund is investing into Solido, is going to the same vaults. And more or less, it's like never, ever, ever sold. And at the same time, the dynamics are designed such that every single super token holder proportionally benefits, right? So imagine after Solido, and of course, I want to highlight Solido, and we want you to be very successful. But there will be others after Solido. They're doing other things in super ecosystem that might be interesting that for you to be aware of. And the protection that we offer is through Common Fund. When I say we, it's like multiple organizations and groups. Is if the project doesn't fulfill their milestones, then there'll be some decentralized refund process, right? The way the ICOs should have always been built, right? Now the thing is, myself and others on our team have interacted with the Solido team for probably close to 6.5 to 7 months directly, right? Various different locations around the world, right? And I would say that's why I'm on this call. As you can tell, I'm very, very frank, direct, not holding anything back, And I would say that, yeah, I think personally, and of course, do your own financial decision making, consult experts. But I would say this is definitely one of the first core primitives deployed on Supra that's not developed by our team, and they happen to have ideas that are for their particular niche that we would have never come up with. So I think this is great. This is a great instance of a team that is very creative, that may have more TradFi experience than I personally do, you know. So let's put it that way. But we all see the power of Web3, composability, react authentication, audit trail, immutable, X, Y, and Z. This is transparency. This is why we're here, right? But these systems, turns out we're all moving into an era where these decentralized systems can really outperform centralized systems when it comes to ultimately not only just user experience, but settlements, you know, and it's going to actually make the world a lot more efficient. So we're here for those reasons, and yeah, Solido, Mr. Square, thank you for joining us on this journey. You're truly an early pioneer, and I hope our community can rationally participate in their offering as long as their offering is rational, which I'm certain it will be. Yeah, I think that's it. Why don't we wrap up? You guys create more video content for the sales page, which I think should be live in a week. Please create product demos. Please create, introductory vision videos and like what you guys plan to do, etc. And then outline the milestones, right? The ICO 2.0 thing. And I think our community will get very comfortable knowing that, the alignment is very much there. Okay, so that's all I got today. Mr. Square, you have the last word.
No, for sure, sir. I think thanks a lot for the suggestions. Definitely, we are on them. And as a last word for everyone listening, if just one thing you have to know about Solido, I would say that just remember that Solido is where DeFi meets automation, and that's what really Solido is all about. Kind of the liquidity staking, stablecoin, yield vault, everything is a piece in the bigger picture. But the goal is that how funds should be moved, the risk should be rebalanced, the yield should be chased in real time, not by you, but by a AI system, right, or an automated system working for you. And that's what Solido is building. Please, if you are not already, follow us on X, join our Discord. We have a lot of action going on in our Discord. It's a very, very good community. Consists of a lot of Supra members, a lot of from outside Supra as well. I'm sure if you are someone who likes DeFi, you would love it on our Discord. So please join us.
Absolutely. I do have to mention, I need to make this for the record. Solido team is the first protocol to implement AutoFi primitives, even in a simple manner, in all of Supra. They're the first. And, I want to emphasize the point that Mr. Square just said. They're going to be pioneering, like whenever it makes sense, they're going to leverage it, right? But they are, for the record, the first non-Super team in foundation and affiliate project to leverage AutoFi on mainnet in the primitives in the protocol. So that's cool. They're going to be pioneers in that, as Mr. Square said. All right, we're out of time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great time doing your own homework. Like don't be stupid. Take the material. Of course, follow your gut, but also like study. I know it's annoying to say that, but like you really should. And the thing is, our team is very much a first principle thinkers, and we want our community to be first principle based as well. So, and why do I say that? It's because longevity. I just turned 40 yesterday, and I
So it
have
was yesterday. People were wondering, is X correct? We wanted to confirm.
Well, it depends on your time zone. So yeah, let's put it that way. But
Happy
and I've been
birthday, Josh.
thank you,
Happy
thank you, thank
birthday,
you.
Josh.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And I would say that the good news is it doesn't feel that different, and more or less like everything's the same. Like just keep on for first principles. Now, in my case, first principles in diets and sleep, like a little bit more in that world. But certainly for computer science and stuff like this, just like in DeFi, like guys, listen, the answer is the following. Don't break first principles in decentralized finance, and you'll be long term okay. I hope that quote is something you can quote me on 100 years from now. You know. Okay, but yeah, let's go here. Let's focus on Solido. I do want to emphasize that they are the first mainnet project to leverage AutoFi properly in mainnet. So kudos to them. All right, let's sign off here. There will be more content like CommonFund, more details about their sale, their token econ, etc. And I'm here just to say, I'm here for a reason. I'm here to say, yeah. I've studied their team and their projects and smart contracts for months. And for me right now, I feel like this is one of the most compelling primitives I've seen in Web3. And I say that because they are leveraging an infrastructure stack that hadn't otherwise existed. They're going to come up with, in my opinion, they're going to come up with things that we have never thought of. We are kind of like, we're like plumbing, we're like electricians, we're like infrastructure providers. We make the roads, we're the communications, highways, etc. But it's the developers that build upon the stack that do things we could have never imagined. And I believe that the Solido team is among those folks that will do things in a very creative way. Remember, transparent on chain, never break the laws of financial physics, etc. But I think they'll come up with things that I probably would have never thought of personally.
Josh, thank you so much for your time as well. I know how crazy it is for you. Yep, I mean, it's literally 10 months since Supra's TGE. So already so much happening on the layer one itself and the ecosystem that we're building. I do want to say, Mr. Square, if you're available next week, Thursday, I've put out a post on my X at James Bond Sama, where I have said if we get 50 likes on that post, we are having Mr. Square on the SUP next week. The SUP right before your sale on CommonFund. So are you available, Mr. Square, for next week, Thursday?
I see that this post is already making rounds in our Discord as well. So I'm sure that that the 50 likes will not be a problem. And I'm sure if community wants that, then we will have to make it happen. So for sure, we will sift up the calendar if needed, and we will make this happen.
Well,
That's
Mr.
great.
Square, thank you so
You
much for
guys
your
do it.
time. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
please
it'd be
do it.
great to
Yeah.
have you on next Thursday.
My
It'd be
my
great.
my connection is so right now. You guys go ahead and do that. Enjoy that. Speak frankly into from the heart, of course. Uh, first principle based financial DeFi, etc. Uh, thank you so much for your time, guys. I have to hop. You guys, please have that call next week. That'd be amazing. Yeah, enjoy that.
For sure. Thanks,
Thanks,
Joshua.
Josh.
Thanks.
Mr. Square, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday. All the best for the final run-in. It's a big week for you guys as you run in towards your CommonFund sale. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next Thursday. And we wish you all the very best.
For sure. Thanks a lot, James. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mr. Square. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll catch you tomorrow. We have the SUP next week. We're giving tomorrow. We are giving away a car. That's right, a Toyota Supra tomorrow on the SUP. Half an hour in. Join us then. 5 p.m. CEST, 3 p.m. UTC. I think that's 10 a.m. ET. So please join us then. We'll see you tomorrow. Mr. Square from Solido, our next CommonFund sale. What a show it's been. We'll catch you guys soon. Peace. Sup. Breaking all the chains, bullish on the tech, yeah, the future look the same. Say the name, Supra running through the veins. They talk decentralization, but we build it to the core. We got DVR, they ain't seen this shit before.